And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want to welcome you all to the Hello LLC. If you don't know, Hello stands for Helping Entrepreneurs Leverage Leading Edge Optimizations. And more importantly, it's about helping everyone live life optimally. And today, if you don't know, you should know you are in our Helpful How To Tuesdays, where we have an amazing conversation of how you can build your brand, build your business into the future. And we're going to have a full entire guide on how to create a weekly campaign. And more importantly, guys, we want you to come and join us in our Hello Plaza in the metaverse, where you're going to be seeing us share our screen from ChatGPT, from Google Bard, now known as Gemini, and some other amazing tools. And so this is where we encourage you guys to make the pivot from 2D to 3D, implementing your cell phone, implementing your laptop, your iPad, and or if you have the VR headsets, you guys can also come and join us live on Instagram and YouTube and in LinkedIn, of course. And so this is where we are always about showcasing new ways to pivot your business, new ways to leverage your time, and new ways to really stop being the janitor in your business and be the president in your business. Because now more than ever, we have to be able to move forward and learn these things. And look, I was talking to one of our pivot members earlier, and it is where we tell ourselves, oh, we're not good at technology. Oh, I'm not good at this. Oh, this isn't what I do. And I'm here to share with you guys all that regardless of what we share with you, how we share with you, the methods that we share with you, it's really about you getting out of your own way and no longer telling yourself, oh, I don't do that. When you say, I don't do that, right? Or you say, I can't do that, you're literally taking your power away. And so what we want to move this is in 4 phases, from going from the I don't, right? Or should I say I can't, to I don't, to I know, to I do, to where, I can't, we're going to take that power back and say, hey, I know I don't do these things. I know I don't post on my social media as much as I should be, especially about my business. Not worrying about my family, not worrying about, my friends or all the rest of that, of what they got to say when they see me at these picnics or holiday events and they say, oh, I like your little post, right? And they're not following, they're not sharing, none of that. And what we find a lot of the times when we do talk about social media for business, we get this conflicted with these creators. We get this conflicted with these influencers. We get this conflicted of likes and followers. And I'm here to share with you guys all. You got to drop all that. Likes and followers for a business social media should not mean nothing to you. Do you think Apple, Walmart, Gucci, all of these companies care whether or not you hit the follow button on their actual social media? No, they don't. They're putting it out there because they know you're watching it. They know that you are going to be influenced. And not only that, they target audience where their clients and where their customers are. And that's the biggest thing that we share with you guys also, is not only knowing your social media campaign, but also knowing who we're targeting and how we're targeting these people also. And so that's really what we're going to be having a great conversation on today. So we encourage you guys to come and join us in the Hello Plaza. We just had the amazing Crystal Bays book launch in our actual Hello Plaza that, once again, I'm going to say this and I'm going to continue to say this 100 million times, is that you can join the metaverse from your cell phone, from your laptop, from your VR headset. Baby, make sure you raise yourself up on stage. And all these other things that you guys all have to be able to implement, moving forward. And so if you guys don't know, I have my amazing other half, Miss Tara, with us also. She is going to be talking out of my headset. We're also live on TikTok. We're also live on Instagram, guys. We are live everywhere. And that's what this is all about, is helping you all understand that you too can do these things as well. And it's really not, how, but, or should I say, it's really not, it's not how you do it. It's just if you do it. And a lot of the times what we find is a lot of people just don't do it and just don't press the button. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is really building, right, a social media weekly campaign for your business, for your brand, And so you all can be able to make that pivot in the future. And so once again, go to thehellowllc.io. You guys can join us. As I shared with you guys earlier, we had the amazing Crystal Bays book launch last week. That was awesome. This was a way for her to showcase her business in a completely different way. And now she has content on content and replays on replays that she can now showcase, from the metaverse, where she couldn't do that at Barnes and Noble. She couldn't do that at a house or anything of that sort. She would have just somebody in the back, with a recording, and that would be it. And hopefully they would be still enough to where you can get all of it, or the battery didn't go dead, like on True Lies with Arnold Schwarzenegger. When the guy was recording, he was like, "I'm out of battery," and he almost lost his life. So we're not going to talk about that. But anyhow, hopefully all is well with everyone today. We encourage you guys all to be grateful. Most importantly, we didn't die yesterday after April 8th with the solar eclipse. Hopefully you got to see it. If not, you had the cloud cover. Oops, you got to wait 21 years for America, 8 years everywhere else around the world. Or did I get that right?
Okay,
help a brother out.
Yeah, it's over 20. It's like 21 years in America. North America will see another total eclipse.
Gotcha.
We'll have another solar eclipse, but it will not be in North America for another 21 years.
Gotcha.
In totality.
That was the part I was looking for. That was the part, right? But with that being said, guys, look, we're going to show you once again how you are. Tara, mute when you do that. Unmute. All right.
My bad. Yeah. I'll stop pushing buttons.
So, you guys, we want to make sure that you guys join us in the Hello Plaza, because we're going to be sharing our screen, our Chat GPT, all of that, to give you guys the prompts that we're going to be utilizing to create this weekly social media campaign. And before I hand it over and Tara can chime in on this, I want you all to understand the benefits of you utilizing your social media. No longer are people emailing, right? Yes, there's emails that you guys get flooded with, but give me an emoji or give me a hand clap. You're not reading these emails. Some of you aren't maybe reading the emails that you should be reading. So emails are dead and gone, my friends. And this is where we want to share with you guys all the importance of social media, and really being able to understand that this gives you a global reach, utilizing social media as your new email campaign. Brand awareness. So many times people want to sell, they want to, make money, but if you don't have a brand and you're not building a brand, how do you expect to get clients? So this is another question that I encourage you all. Are you have a hustle, or do you have a business? Because a business has a brand. A business is sharing about their business and what they do and how they can do it. And a lot of the times we're skipping that part and we're going straight to the sales other than building our brand. Having brand awareness, which is something we share with you guys also. You're not just on LinkedIn. You're not just on, Facebook. The average social media networks that you as a business should be on is 6.6. Okay. So if you own 2, you know where you're at in this ballpark. You should be on LinkedIn. You should be on Instagram. You should be on Facebook. You should be on Twitter. You should have your Google SEO spaces. You should be on, all these different channels that you guys hear about. And I get it. Oh my God, David, you just said 6 social media platforms. You mean I got to go and post on all 6 of these social media platforms? Yes, but guess what? There's an AI tool that we introduced to a lot of our Pivot members that can eliminate all of this, where you don't have to get in that nuance of, oh no, I'm not going to be doing that. And so this is where you all can really be able to understand, to have customer engagement. To create lead generations is also what your social media is all about, including, customers' insights. You should be doing questions, right? You should be having a competitive advantage of posting more than anybody else. I can assure you, when you guys think of metaverse, I sure hope you think of, Tara and David at the Hello LLC. When you think of systems and foundations and a website, or a membership that you want to join, I sure hope, Hello LLC comes to mind when you are ready to make that pivot and stop beating yourself upside the head, being like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? I don't know how to do this. What button do I press here? I sure hope you know that you have a community that you can come to and say, hey, I know David and Tara at Hello LLC can help me out, and their team can really take me to the next level because I've tried at Q1. I got to New Year's. I put my glass up, my wine up, my beer up, my favorite drink up, my water up, and I said, "This is gonna be my year." And here it is, Q2. You ain't done nothing new. Okay, so we got to get out of our own way. We got to get out of our pride. We got to get out of our ego, and we got to sit there and say, "Hey, I need some help." And this is where we can help you guys out with being able to make that pivot and make that shift. As Tara has the golf cart now in our house. So you remember when your mama used to tell you to get your feet off the couch? Tara has taken it to a whole new level where if you're in Metaverse watching us live, she has the golf cart inside the house. And I don't know about you.
Tara doesn't, David's driving.
But I know, impersonation. I see. So this will be more in my house, what we call an old-fashioned butt whooping, especially if you drive the golf cart in the house. So with that being said, Tara Love, would you like to add on anything to this as we get this party rocking and rolling?
Well, yeah, now that I'm done playing in Metaverse.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know, you guys can all join us in the Metaverse at thehellollc.io. David will add the link to the top of the room if you're in Clubhouse, but you can simply jump in there and hit the button, and it's four simple pushes.
Four buttons, man. And I actually put the link up there for you guys to go straight to. We've upgraded our Biz in a Box, and we've added some additional tools for you guys to learn exactly how to get to the
Great. Anywho, so today we're talking about the power of social media. And, David, I always hear him sharing with everybody that followers don't equal dollars. And, this is something that we had to learn through the experience. Like we thought the same thing that, we saw all these people that had followers that did equal dollars, but that has since changed. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that it did work. At one point it did work, but it's no longer working. And so at this point, it's the fact that you need to understand that followers are not equivalent to the dollars that you have in your or receiving, I was going to say in your bank account, but I'm not going to count anybody's bank. So my point being at the end of the day, guys, is to understand the simplicity that what is working for social media now is authenticity. We have moved out of the era of lifestyle. So if you are one of those people who only posts about lifestyle, about, the old way of things, think 10 years ago. You see somebody that was traveling all the time. You would see somebody who was maybe had nice vehicles, a nice house, whatever it was, but they were posting about their lifestyle. Or maybe it was a very, organic lifestyle. They, moved out to a farm and they're posting. I'm going to tell you right now, what happens is people want authenticity. And so if you are posting about things that are inauthentic, and it might not be, because there are influencers out there that do post or have posted of, material things that are not even theirs, people can smell that a mile away. And so the reason I share that is because we are in the authentic era of social media. It is up to us now to be able to show up. Filters, guys, people don't care about filters unless it's funny faces, or goofy faces, or, gives you hair if you're bald. My bad.
Too soon.
So if you guys don't know, Dave is always finding a filter that will give him hair because he's just, can wear hair in the Metaverse. Anywho, my point being is people no longer want you to show up in the prim and proper and all put together state. And the reason being is because you're not relatable. People want relatable material. They want to be able to connect to the material. They want to wake up and say, you know what? I have to go out every day and feed, do chores, feed the cows, feed the horses, the chickens, whatever. I grew up on a farm, so, that comes natural. But my point being is, or is it get up and, do you go do yoga, work out, meditate, do some sort of self-care? People want to see that authenticity and that relatability to what would work for them. There are people nowadays that I see on social media that used to never show up in social media without a filter or without a face full of makeup, i.e. women. And well, I guess if a guy wants to do that, that's to each own prerogative. So I'm just burying myself in a hole. But, point being is now they show up, maybe half their hair up, putting their makeup on or, washing their teeth or brushing their teeth, washing their face, showing you their morning routine about what they look like before and after. It's knowing that we all have a very raw, authentic lifestyle, meaning what works for us. And it's all not prim and proper, orchestrated lifestyle that, is good for the camera. And it's not edited version for the camera is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. So that is the number one thing right now is show up as yourself. If you don't know how to go live or you're afraid to go live because you don't know what to say, you're going to have more people that love you for getting out there and stumbling upon your words going, this is the first live I've ever done. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. Guys, I'm just trying to grow my account or I'm just trying to, break out of my fear of going live. You are going to have more people show up and support you in that than you would have 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because we have completely changed a page. And I won't get into the woo-woo side of it. But what happens is that there's a shift in energy, just like David talked about earlier when we started this room, that nobody died. We're all here from, the eclipse. Yes, but there was a shift in energy. That was an energy time. There was the energy, the energy that the sun gives off. Obviously, if you're outside, you get sunburnt, right? Well, I do because I'm pale. So that's energy. That is what we don't understand because we don't see it. We don't think it exists. And so we've shifted in energy, knowing that it is about collaboration. It's about community. It's about coming together. It's about being authentic. It's about, this is what my hair looks like in the morning. It's not all prim and proper and cute and curled and, looking good for the red carpet. And that is the biggest thing that I have seen really people take off, just being their true self. I mean, I see one lady that shows up in like her robe every morning and bedhead. And people love it. She's just out there sharing her day. Like, I'm getting started. So I would say at the end of the day, the power of this is just getting out of your own way and pushing the button, as Mr. Jones would say. But let's pass this mic around. Miss Crystal, you're up here. Share with us what you know, first of all, about your amazing event that we had last Thursday, and then, some social media thoughts and comments.
Well, it was a lot of fun. I won't lie, though, after being in my headset, like sitting for over an hour, I did have a nice little imprint and my freaking legs fell asleep. But other than that, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun actually interacting like that. That was the first time, besides going to like your party and stuff, that I've actually interacted in the metaverse like that. Normally I just play my games, my synth riders and my boxing and things like that. So it was a lot of fun. And I loved the interaction and everything. What's funny is David asked one question that nobody would have actually been able to answer when it came to the trivia. He asked who helped me leave in February. And I didn't cover that at all that day. I don't even know if I put that in the book.
It was in your writing.
So that was kind of funny that you would ask that question. But overall, it was a great experience. And I had only two people actually answered any of the questions. So they are getting the free books. It was Ollie and Anka, ironically. and they both only answered 2 questions, but still, good enough. But it was a lot of fun, and the interaction was great. And when it comes to email, David, you are 100% correct. I get loaded with them all the time. And unless I'm expecting an email, like a meeting invite and like from you guys or something like that, I don't open shit. Excuse my language, but I don't. Because there's so many spam and so many viruses that can be attached and everything that it really can almost be dangerous at this point. But then again, having a programmer for a fiance, you kind of worry about all of that. You know, he's kind of shown me the underbelly of email and everything and being hacked and stuff. So yeah, social media really is like the way of business and everything of the future.
Yeah. And Miss Crystal, I'm gonna have to correct you, ma'am. If you go back to your reading that you read out midway, when you read in your paragraph, you said Matt came and helped you in 2019 in February. So that's where I got that question from. So you absolutely stated it. You might not remembered it, but that was the question that was asked.
So, it might have been in one of our, I'll check the replay because he had helped me in June or whenever Father's Day is.
Yeah, you put in your reading and your writing scripture February 2019.
Oh, yeah, no, that was a previous friend of mine that really wasn't a friend, that kind of kidnapped me in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That was
I figured if anybody answered the question with Matt, I would take it.
Yeah.
Because he was emotionally there for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your reading part that you read out loud, it was there. But we appreciate you joining us and really, taking the time to step outside of, the traditional way of broadcasting and, really putting your business out there. And I'm going to use you as an example for today's social media mastery of building a business campaign, because a lot of the times, give me an emoji or put in the actual chat, if you have problems coming up with ideas about your business. Because what happens a lot of the times is that us as entrepreneurs, because we have one mindset, we forget about all these segmentations of our business, especially from an author, especially from a coach, especially from a real estate agent, especially from all these different industries that we're in, a service to service, a product to product, of ideas that we can leverage to make a social media, right? So for an author, prime example, like I said, if you guys don't join us in the metaverse, you can't see the screen that we're sharing, that we will share from the Chat GPT side, where I'll show you guys exactly, how I was able to do this and get this, put into Chat GPT. And when we talk about these things, guys, I want you to understand, when you utilize Chat GPT, it's not connected to the internet, number one. When you use Gemini, it is connected to the internet. And you don't have to pay the $35 or $25 that you do have to pay with ChatGPT, where by the time an hour passes by, you've asked the questions, they're like, you're going to need to wait another 24 or you're out of your usage. Whereas in Gemini, you can ask away. And so it's really the prompt, as we put this morning in one of our quotes, technology is giving us a way to communicate and be more humanly like, where we're really starting to find out how we communicate with people and how effectively we communicate with people as we move forward. And so I want you all to understand the questions that you ask and how you ask, this ChatGPT or Gemini is going to set you apart. So prime example, and one of the ones that I have, or one of the quotes, one of the prompts that I've had in here is, and I've done this with Crystal already, right? Act as a social media expert for an author and create a weekly social media campaign for Crystal Bay with 2 to 3 posts a day for an author. Okay. And so you can see that if you guys remember the tag that we talked about earlier of how you prompt these things and asking it, to where on Monday it has, motivational quote. Put out a motivational quote, can be from your book, cannot be from your book, that she could put out on Monday, right? On Tuesday, it has a sneak peek. where, you know, Crystal could go back and reread a sneak peek of her actual book from the Rise of Crystal Phoenix. On day 3, right? Author spotlight. It's crazy. Tara created an author spotlight that already did that, right? We already did. And then on Thursday, Throwback Thursday, this could be a photo, a memory related to Crystal Bay's journey, right? She could share a story on some of her past, some pictures of her kids, where she is in Missouri, anything of that sort. Here goes another great idea. Fan feature. As an author, you're sending out, you know, autographed books. You know, you might be sending out, actual, you know, like Crystal Bay, she send out, you know, books that people won. She could, you know, interactively send out a fan feature of these people that won these books to give them a spotlight. What do you think they're going to do? Do you not think they're not going to go and share that post with their community? Do you not think they're not going to go and comment on that post, especially if you tag them, right? And so these are some of the things. Another thing for Saturday, an interactive poll. Polls are huge right now, where you can have a related poll on what she's up to. The next thing that you could do is you could have it to where, you know, a countdown to her launch. She can have it to where she has a countdown to her second launch that she's having, or an event that she's having. All of you can do this. And so, you know, this is really just a glimpse of asking this technology that so many people are not fearful of, but don't know. And when you don't know, you don't take action. And what happens is that we find out a little too late, and then there's something else to know. And then we've fallen behind the 8 ball on what there is out there because we're not taking the action to really, you know, learn these things. And it blows my mind that we can learn all these other things, right, that don't do us any justice, but the things that we should be learning, we're not learning because we allow our fear, our ego, and our pride, right, get in the way. And so I really want you guys to, as I shared from the beginning, get rid of that old mentality that, oh, I don't know social media. Oh, I'm not good at this. Oh, that's not me. BS, right? Up your BS level. And when I say BS, up your belief system and stop giving yourself bullshit excuses. 100. Okay? Some of you guys are so good at selling yourself on these excuses other than actually believing in yourself. And that, my friends, is what's stopping you to getting you where you want, because you're not believing in yourself, because we're allowing these old traumas, these old childhood memories, these old things that my boyfriend, my mama, my daddy, my grandpa, all these people did to us. Some of them not even here no more. And we're still allowing that power to be taken away from us when it's time for us to relinquish that power back. As I said from the beginning, stop saying, I can't. No, you don't. The reason you don't is because you don't know why you don't do it. And then we're going to start pressing some buttons and doing it. Okay. And so with that being said, Tara, you got anything you want to add on top of that, love?
Well, yeah, I think, you know, you said it, the biggest thing is about the traumas and the dramas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, obviously that's my neck of the woods. You know, I enjoy jumping into that. And at the end of the day, the biggest thing that happens is we, as you say, we allow the traumas and dramas, but you know, tomorrow we'll be jumping in this more on the mastery side of that, but those things show up everywhere in your life. And that's the biggest thing that a lot of people don't understand is they can say, oh, the trauma, you know, just get over it. A lot of times people, you know, will say, you know, get over it because they, you know, it's, guys, look, it's the old school mentality. I grew up with baby boomer parents. I grew up with in Generation X brother. I am, I guess, on the cusp of millennial and Generation X. And so the big mentality is pick yourself up by the bootstraps and move on. And a lot of times, guys, it's okay to say, you know what, I need a little more help with that because it is paralyzing all aspects of life. But again, we're going to jump into that tomorrow. So back to the social media side of things is taking that action and understanding where you are excelling, what you do really well, and where you need some help. And a lot of times it comes down to needing help in strategy. It comes down needing help to, you know, the strategy of, you know, what you are trying to post, what you're trying, the goal of who you're trying to capture the attention of. And so a lot of times what happens is we just throw up random stuff. We'll be, okay, I want to throw this up, and I want to throw this up, and I want to do this now, and I'm going to put this up. And that works, but there's no rhyme or reason. And marketing is all about rhyme and reason. Marketing is all about the simple fact of making sure that you're doing something consistently and sticking to the plan. So it gets to the point of, a consistent marketing plan that allows you to be the most effective. And so in social media, guys, we were just having this conversation last week, for instance, TikTok. We'll get into a little bit of TikTok. Who was it last week that jumped on the stage that we were having that conversation with? Anyways, the gentleman last week, and he does like 50, 60 podcasts a week.
I know you're talking about Joel. No. I don't.
Anyways.
No.
Neil.
Yes, I think it was Neil. But anyhow, go ahead.
Point being is the gentleman that jumped in last week. He does so many podcasts a week, and so he is what you would be pretty up to date with what needs to be posted. And he stated that on TikTok, his posts weren't getting very many views. And he was, what went from where he would get 1,000 or more, now it's only like 100 or 200 views. And I jumped in immediately and said, I know exactly why you're not getting views. And it's because the algorithm changed. As we all know, the algorithm changes all the time. But the one thing I'll tell you with TikTok is they tell you what they want on the algorithm. They literally have people, influencers that they partner with that they're not associated with TikTok. They're their own influencer, but because they have, a good following, people, and they might be in the strategy of TikTok or how to post on TikTok, TikTok will market or will strategize with these individuals so that they can push out the new algorithm to the masses. And let me tell you, that's extremely helpful. When you tell your audience, hey, we're going to push this content, but the old content that you were making, we're not going to push. And it's not even the content you're making. It's formatting. Guys, it comes down to formatting. And a lot of times people are not formatting their stuff properly. So on TikTok, it used to be 9:16. That's a vertical. That's when you're so used to seeing a TikTok, it's a vertical size of your phone. That's not what they're pushing anymore. They want 16:9. They want the size of that would go horizontal, like on YouTube. And so at the end of the day, we have to, and Neil was like, well, why would they do that? Well, it's because of they're competing. They're competing with YouTube to be the number 1, number 2 SEO search engine basically. And what happens is they're now YouTube's doing the same thing. They're promoting shorts. They're wanting you to have vertical posts that are 9:16 instead of the 16:9. They're all kind of changing, like, well, I used to do this. Now you take it, and I'm going to take what you used to do. They're all changing in their own rhyme or reason. And so what happens is that you get the fact that people get frustrated because their views go down. And they're like, well, my stuff's not. It's the content. No, 100%. It's not what you're saying. They're going to reward you if you put your own content on there that it allows you to, what you doing?
No, go ahead.
Oh, that allows you to be able to, excel in the content that you're posting. So my point being is be original. If you're reposting, if I see that David posted something on our Facebook and I go grab it and I save it down, it removes all of the logos and stuff like that, and I go to post it to TikTok, TikTok's going to be like, this is not original. You did not create this yourself. You didn't create it in our application. And because you did that, they're going to slow down the pushing out of the algorithm onto the views that you're trying to get into, the 1,000, 2,000s and more. So my point being is check what the algorithm is doing. Instagram changes all the time. Facebook changes all the time. TikTok, they even want you to do like photo carousels, which is what Instagram was doing. And here's another thing. TikTok is actually coming out with a new application that's called TikTok Notes, which is going to be like Instagram. That's where pictures, you're going to want to do pictures. That's where pictures will be at instead of being on the actual TikTok side. And so, guys, it's all about, these change about every 90 days to 6 months. You have to understand, as a content creator, you cannot do what you did a year ago because it's not going to work. And then you're going to get mad and frustrated that it's not working. And when it doesn't work, you're going to be pissed that I'm not getting any views, and then you quit. And that's exactly what happens, is most people will quit because they're not getting the views that they expected to get from the point at the end of the day of, what they got a year ago. Or I always, downloaded videos or reposted them and they did really well, and now I'm not getting the views. The algorithm changed, guys, and you're not paying attention to that. So I would say that the biggest thing is stay up to date. TikTok is really good about keeping you aware of what they want. Instagram, I have not, never in the time that I've used Instagram have I seen a content creator out on Instagram tell you exactly what Instagram told them about the content they want. And to me, guys, as a company, if I was Instagram and Facebook, who obviously owns Instagram, I'd be changing that, because I would want you, if you're a community that is utilizing my platform, I would want you to tell me, what do you want? It's kind of like that day-old conversation between man and woman. It's like, what do you want, woman? I can't read your mind. We, as humans, have to be better about communicating instead of expecting people to guess. And Instagram likes to do this little guessing game, like guessing, see if you can guess the algorithm.
Guess again.
And that pisses people off 100, because look, I'm trying to utilize your platform to exercise and expand my business, and you want me to do the guessing game when I can go over here to TikTok or other applications that are going to tell me what they want me to post, so they push my content. Now, I don't know how many of you out there listening, but if I asked you, would you want to go, utilize an application that doesn't tell you what to post? You just have to kind of shoot fish in a barrel and see if you hit something. I mean, that's pretty easy if you got fish in a barrel. But my point being is, that's what the problem is that we are not utilizing this thing called communication that helps us rather than hinder us. And so that would be one thing that I would add to the social media side of it. Let's see. You guys are more than welcome to jump up here on stage, by the way. This is an open conversation. If you have questions, if you have strategies that work for yourself, please come up. We absolutely, absolutely want to hear from you. This is not a closed stage by means. Raise your hand, come on up, and we will absolutely love also to find out where you, what you're up to, who you are, how we can support you in business or within your brand. Because again, this is where, as a community, when the tide rises, all boats rise. We do not believe in, we are the only ones up here that know everything and that you have to only support us. That is not the way we roll. And we want to make sure that you guys get up here and take advantage of that. So come on up if you have any questions, raise your hands, drop them in the comments, anything, join us on Metaverse. But back to this conversation around the whole fact of social media and how social media, crafting your weekly business campaign. I'll be very frank, David, I used to run our social media in the very, very, very beginning and was teaching, David, we both did back and forth. And as our duties in our business and our responsibilities grew, we had to divide, what we did and the tasks between each other. And so David now 100% runs our social media. And the thing I will say is that in the beginning, he was like, Facebook, who? He's like, if you want to get a hold of me, you better call me. And so I want to share with everybody, because everybody here has the ability to go do really big things if you'll just get out of your way and push buttons. Again, like David always says, you push all the buttons you want to in the world, because you don't have the nuclear codes and you can't blow anything up. You might be able to blow yourself up, but don't do that, because we love you too. And we don't want you to blow yourself up. But coming down to the campaign style, that's where David and I, I like to solve problems. And so if David's talking about something that he's like, oh, this or this is not working, or, this is kind of askew, I will go immediately into problem solving and solve the problem and find a system that fixes it. And one thing that when David was, jumping into Chat GPT and going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, when AI came around over a year ago, almost a year and 6 months ago, a year and a half ago, one of the biggest things was campaign strategy, was allow that, any AI tool, whether it's Gemini, where Claude is another one that a lot of people have been using. Pi.ai is another one. These are all really good. Outside of ChatGPT, they all can help you create strategy. The thing is through using the tag method, which is, if you go back about a month ago to one of our rooms, you can hear what tag, the tag method, a full explanation of what the tag method is. But essentially, it's how to prompt AI. You need to tag your AI into the ring so it will actually give you the content that you're looking for. And the biggest thing that people don't do is they don't tell AI who to be. Like, I need you, AI, to be a professional copywriter. Or, for instance, here's a sample prompt that I would give any AI tool I'm using that I need content out of. And I do this quite a bit. But I'll say, hi, Gemini, which those that don't know, that's Google, and that's connected directly to the internet. I use it quite a bit. But I'll say, hi, Gemini, I need you to act as a copyright professional and a website designer / creator. So I've given it 2 titles that I wanted to ask them: copyright and website. I need you to design, and then I'll say, I need you to craft a short bio that is no more than 2 sentences, that is intriguing, attractive, and gets readers' attention, that talks about this. And then I will say whatever it is. I could be talking about ABC brand that, they sell the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s, and they need, everybody to know how to say their ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Again, that's a complete illustration. But my point being is, tell it who you want it to be, tell it what you want out of it, and then tell the format that you need it in. Like, I need less than 2 sentences. I need to be short. I need to be, in your own words. I need to be intriguing, eye-catching, and exciting, And a lot of times I also prompt AI when I'm utilizing it for my social media to give me a list, give me a few examples, or give me a list of many, because that way I get a variety of responses instead of just one response. Because I don't know how many ladies out there are like me, but when I go shoe shopping, or when I go, shopping for, we went shopping for pants, like, jeans, like 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, guys. And I was like, I now know why I don't like jean shopping, because, oh my God, I tried on like 50 pairs of jeans and didn't find really anything that I liked. And so we are the same way when it comes to our, responses from AI. There's a lot of times we get content back and we're like, I didn't want that. That's not what I wanted. I wanted something completely different. And back to this day old conversation that people have all the time about, men and women, and men are always like, I can't read women's minds. Guys, and I say guys loosely for everybody. Y'all, I'm just going to use a Texas term. Y'all, this is a human issue in general. We don't know how to prompt. We don't know how to ask for. We don't know how to communicate our needs, because a lot of times we haven't been able to do that. So you might be like, what does this have to do anything with social media, Tara? Well, if you're utilizing AI to be able to get your campaign going, or your campaigns, weekly campaign and flow, and it's not giving you the responses that you want, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to say, screw it, I can't do it. You're going to go out and hire someone else, guys. And I'm going to be very frank. David and I have had multiple conversations with people about people setting up and running their social media, and whether they're not getting the work done or they are getting the work done, and then they, possibly, don't let people have access to their social media in the future for some reason, or they create all this content, but that person can't use that content in the future. I mean, for years, David and I have helped people through that process, because it is look, 8 years ago when we started social media, we felt the same way. We're like, where do we even start? All we do is we just post about our dog, what event we're going to, what we're eating, and then it became a strategy. And when you really sat down and listened to some of these big dogs, and when I say big dogs, these are people that were making millions of dollars a month utilizing the power and the strategy of campaigning through social media, you would understand that it just comes down to authenticity. And it comes down to one, here's a little, I guess a secret sauce tip, guys. In a day, you want to post, well, let's say a week. In a week, you want to post, 5 to 7, posts. You want at least one post a day, right? Ideally, if on the small side, the low end. I mean, we do 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 posts on each, thing. But I'm talking about on a low end, that is the bare minimum. If you want to actually make an impact, post once a day. But your weekly strategy out of those 5 to 7 times you're posting a week is out of, let's say you have 7, because we're going to do one a day. You need 3 to 4 of them to be about your life, about, I took a shower last night, or I took a bath last night and had some R&R, and I read and I did this and it was wonderful. And you vlogged it, V with a vlog. I can't say that, properly, vlogged it. And people will be like intrigued because they get to see a little behind the scenes, you brushing your teeth, you brushing your hair, you taking the dog for a walk, you making your green smoothie in the morning, you meditating. People want to see that. So 3 to 4 posts in a weekly time out of 7 need to be about you and behind the scenes. Now say that's 3 of them. We'll go up to 3. Now that leaves 4 posts left. 2 of those 4 need to be informational based, and it could be even 2 to 3, depending on how you want to do that. But 2 to 3 of them need to be informational based. So when David and I, were very much in our wellness, we have a wellness side to our business. And when in the very beginning of our business, we were very heavy within helping people understand the dynamics of their wellness and how, we really aren't getting the proper nutrition in what we eat. And so we would share a lot of times facts about, here's a great fact. There was a 1950 study that was done by UCLA that found that if you ate 1 bowl of spinach in 1950, in today's time, you would have to eat over 70 bowls of spinach to equate to the same nutritional value of that 1 bowl of spinach in 1950. So that's a fact. And so when you share facts like that to where did you know, and it doesn't even have to be you the one telling it, you actually want it to be third party sources that are confirming your stance or your product or whatever it is, your services. That allows people, you not to be the know-it-all, and allows third-party verification, validation. So that is the 2 posts that you want to. And then the final 2 or 1, depending on how many information ones you do, is about the products and services you have. A lot of times in a week, people are spraying everybody with 7 posts about what they do. They're not sharing anything about who they are. They're not sharing about what their dog did. They're not sharing about the eggs they collected out of the chicken coop. And they're not sharing any facts or figures around what they're trying to service. They're just constantly going, get your get your foundation set, get your business in a box, join your pivot, do this, instead of saying, hey, do you know that over 80% of businesses do not have their foundation set up in their business? They don't have systems. They don't have websites. They don't have any of that set up. That's a lot. And so a lot of times we don't know these things. And when we don't have strategy to say, okay, out of 7 posts, 3 or 4 of them need to be about lifestyle, 2 to 3 of them need to be about information, facts, and then 1, maybe 2 needs to be about actually what do I do. And here's another thing. Instead of even posting about what you do, post a testimony instead. Because the biggest thing that people don't understand is that when you have a third party that gives you a testimony that says, hey, this is who these people are. This is what I did with them. This is how they treated me. This is what I got in return. And would I refer them to do business with other people? Heck yes. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, anytime I go out to buy anything off of Amazon, off of anything, I am reading the reviews. I want to know what other people experienced, because based on their experience, I'm buying. And how many of you have that same sentiment? How many of you go out to Amazon to go buy, a new pair of leggings, and you see one pair of leggings that you really, they look great, but they only got 2 reviews. They got a lot of stars, but they only got 2 reviews. And then you go over these other set of leggings and they got 5,000 reviews with 4.5 stars. Now, we all know some of those are probably purchased off of Amazon, but my point being is, if you read through those reviews, you can tell who's actually an authentic, person who verified. And now they have to do verified purchases on it to make sure you actually purchase that before you're even posting on it, which even helps us even more. Before I park my little scooter, how many of you go out to Yelp to find a new restaurant hey, let's go out and have dinner Saturday night. I want to try this new restaurant. And you go out to Yelp and read the reviews and you see that they get 5 stars. And it's because everybody talks about how they have this amazing cheesecake that you have to eat when you get done. Or when you arrive, they greet you with a glass of champagne or something. Just things that, however that experience went, people communicate that. You are more than, likely to go experience that experience if it was a positive review, versus if somebody says, you have 10 reviews and all 8 of them are like, I got food poisoning. You're like, oh no, I'm going to pass that. I don't want food poisoning. I don't even want to take the risk. That could be all bots, a bunch of bots posting on there, but I don't want the risk. And so I would say at the end of the day, guys, just understand strategy. There's always a strategy. The basic strategy is be authentic, show people about who you are, give value, give information, share testimonies, and you really don't even have to post about what your products are, because you're creating curiosity. And the biggest thing in marketing is to create curiosity. Curiosity then is like what my mom used to always say, curiosity kills the cat. Well, curiosity gets you paid, because people, when you generate curiosity, I don't know how many times I'll watch a TikTok and they put the reveal or the second half on the part 2. And I'm like, I gotta go find the part 2. I'll go out there. They don't even have the part 2 posted yet. And I gotta wait. And I'm like, man, you know what? That stinks. I wanted to know how that ended, because we are a society of instant gratification and we want that dopamine hit or whatever it is. So really, at the end of the day, that is something that I would add to this mix of understanding how many times a week you need to be posting, what kind of content, and how that really irons out into the equation of followers equaling dollars. Because in reality, I much rather have 1,000 people who follow me that actually engage and are active in the community and, participating in the community and growing in the community, than having 10,000 people who are just duds and don't do anything. They don't like your posts. They don't do anything. Because guys, that really beats people, morale down. They're like, well, nobody's liking my stuff. Nobody's this. And, what community have you built within followers and following? And I'll say this before I hand this back to Mr. Jones, because he talks a lot about this, is you have to give love to get love. And something I had shared with, or David and I had discovered, we'll just put it that way, a couple of years ago, was the whole method of, I think actually Gary Vee was the one who came up with this method that we showed. but was he goes out every morning and he just likes a bunch of people's stuff, and he goes out and leaves authentic comments on people's stuff because it creates curiosity. How many times have any of you had, whatever social media channel it is, how many of you have ever had that one time where somebody's come out and they've liked 10 of your posts, they've commented 3 or 4 times, and they're consistent about it? Like once a week they come out and they just like, a bunch of your posts, they comment on it. And it's not just like, hearts, 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 like Tara does. They'll actually say, hey, you know what, that was a really good idea. This helped me, or thank you so much for sharing this. This, was a very, informative, whatever that. You are creating, you're piquing people's interest in an authentic, organic way that creates curiosity. And then they want to come find out who you are, this person who's been posting and loving and liking all over my stuff, but is not in my back channel spamming me. That's the kicker. A lot of times the old way was, let's go in the back channel and spam you while I'm on the front side loving all your stuff. No, just go out and love their stuff, because we are now in a time where you will get that love back, whether it's from that person or tenfold somewhere else. That is what the energy in the universe that we are in alignment with right now, is that what you give is what you get. By the way, if anybody didn't know, we are in the year of 8. 8 means karma. So whatever you're giving is what you're going to get. And you just have to understand when it comes back around to you, to whatever you did give, that you have to be open to what you get, whether it's good or bad. You have to accept it. So that's the biggest thing I would share with you guys, is understanding the power of authenticity within social media these days. Okay. I have talked and got that all out, love. I'm going to pass this mic back to you so we can, move on down to the next point of view.
Well, I appreciate that share, because you're so spot on, especially when we talk about, giving before you take. And so often, people that talk about supporting, people that talk about, liking and doing all these things when it's cute and adorable on stage, but, they don't do it behind the scenes.
Are their feet really doing it? It's kind of like that duck sitting on the water and you just see him sitting all calm and cool, quack, quack. And you're like, what's your feet doing? Are you paddling or are you just sitting there?
You're just sitting there. Yeah. And a lot of the times we're sitting there, and then, and this is what I started with when we talk about social media. Look, stop. I'm here to tell you, stop followers and comments and all that stuff. Tara and I had an actual post that got 101,000 views on this post.
Largest
that we've had probably in a while. Not one follower, okay? Not one follower came from that post, because it tells you on LinkedIn, not one. And so this is a prime example that, okay, great that you're getting all these viral posts. Not to mention, okay, you get a viral post. What does your website look like? What are you showcasing to these people? How easy are you making it for these people to get your book or learn about who you are? Do you just have your Calendly on your page, hoping that people are going to book an appointment with you? I'm here to tell you they're not. And do you have it to
people
where
are scared to talk to people?
People are scared to talk to people. People are scared to talk to people. People are scared to read, but people want an experience. And this is where we as entrepreneurs have to get out of our way and understand that social media in itself, right? In 2022, Facebook had over 2.8 billion monthly active users, right? While Instagram only had 1 billion. So those of you that have thought that, Facebook is dead and gone, it's not. Okay. When we talk about brand awareness, social media allows businesses to increase their visibility and recognition. According to Statista, 91% of brands use 2 or more social media channels, and 82% of them believe social media marketing is essential for your business. And so if you're an entrepreneur that is sitting there telling yourself, social media, peasy breezy, I'm done with it, I don't need to socialize with people, I'm here to tell you, you're completely behind the 8 ball. You would be part of the 18% of people you're part of the 18% of people that don't do social media. Which is
that
crazy.
goes into what you said last night. You said, could you imagine starting a business back in the 80s and the 90s when there was not social media? Like, how many of you guys, because everybody in here, I'm going to be honest, we all remember the 80s and 90s. because I don't see anybody in here younger than in the Generation Z area, and I'm just making a general assumption so y'all don't come for me in the comments. But we remember the 80s and the 90s. It was word of mouth. It was Yellow Book. It was or the Yellow Pages. I'm sorry. It was. Man, word of mouth again. My dad used to tell me all of the time, word of mouth, negative, bad word of mouth will spread faster than good word of mouth. Back to you, Mr. Jones. Sorry, I just remembered you saying that last night. And what you were saying right there is
you're spot on.
Yeah.
We make it so much harder and like, oh my God, it's so hard. Well, take your ass back to 1980, 1990 and see how hard it would be to start a business then. Where people right now have all this access and they're not even doing it. When we talk about customer engagement, social media enables direct interactions from customers and fostering engagement. Research shows that 73% of marketers believe their efforts through social media marketing have benefited their business effectively and very effective. Lead generation, which is something that we continuously forget. Prime example, I've met with Miss Lisa, Miss Angelica. If I fell off the face of the earth right now and we did no more of these rooms, I met with Miss Giggles, Miss Taborn down there, right? If we fell off the face of the earth, stopped doing these, our social media would still be rolling. And you would still have brand recognition of who we were, right? To be able to get this information from us. And something that Tara talked about earlier is that, yes, some people do post about, their services and products and just cram it down your throat. And they don't add in the personal touch of who they are, what they are, and for their clients to get to know them. But we also have a lot, I would say well over 50 to 60% that are just posting mundane stuff that doesn't have anything to do with their business. And they're not posting about their business and nobody knows what they do. And so you're lost in the mix, that if nobody knows what you do, a confused mind will say no. And so often we allow that fear of, oh, I don't want to come off salesy. Oh, I don't want to do that. And look, our mama, our daddy has fed this into us. Oh, don't be that type of person. Don't be a salesman. There's a difference between being a salesman. I'm not walking up to your door with a Bible and saying, hey, do you need this? I'm walking up to you. You shared something, said you needed some help with this. You've mentioned these things that you need to increase upon. And what happens is our fear and our unwillingness to get uncomfortable to move forward, right, and do something different, then all of a sudden sells us, oh, this person's trying to sell me on it. No, you're avoiding to make the movement, to make the pivot to things that you should be doing, and you're not doing them because you're comfortable and you're stuck in the old ways. And this is where we have to take accountability of how we show up in the internal voice that we have when we do ask for help. When we were praying or wishing that something would come to us, and it's sitting right here in our front doorstep, and we're not making that movement. And so this is also, where we have to be cost effective in our social media. Me and Tara spent, well over $2,000 to $3,000 on social media, campaigns and ads and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, for us personally, it didn't work.
It works for some people, but it is a lot of money that people put in. It's a lot of money, and it's the okay. Which one's going to work? Let me try this one or this one and this one, and you're constantly, and that's why people pay the big bucks for people to do it.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, as we said, people make these campaign posts, but they don't have a foundation in order.
That part,
of how people can make that sale. Right? A lot of people are expecting people to talk to them and then tell them about their services and business. And when people don't want to do that, you need to have it up front and center. And so this is huge. And so some other things that we wanted to talk about, right? When we talked about decision making, the global web index reveals that 54% of social media browsers use social media to research products and services. So if you don't have no information out there for clients to learn about you or to know about you, you're missing out on the boat. Okay. Website traffic. Social media drives significant amount of traffic to your biz in a box, aka old static website, right? that shows that in 2021 accounts that 33% of website visits came from social media. Let me say that again. That's huge. 33% of your website traffic comes from your social media. So if you're not posting on a daily basis, that is a huge amount of your business that you are losing on a daily scale by not posting about your business. Customer recommendations, what Tara talked about. Nielsen reports that 92% of customers trust recommendations from people they know, and 70% trust consumers' opinions posted online, which is why also in our Pivot membership that you guys can join us for $7 a month, right? That we have over 100 videos that one of those videos shows you exactly how to set up your Google SEO, to where a lot of you have clients right now and you don't have their testimonies, and people are going to look you up on Google, and you don't even much have your business SEO set up there. And so you can't get reviews. And you're relying on people to read your website that anybody and their mama can put anybody's name and write an actual testimony, right? A Google review is a Google review. That's a different type of review that the customer has nothing to do with. And so this alone kind of sets us back when we don't have our foundation in order, right? To allow these recommendations, where a great social media campaign that you all should do is that you should go back to your current clientele that you've done business with and say, hey, I would love for you to go to my Google SEO and leave me a review. I would love for you to do a podcast with me, and let's do, about your business, about my business, and let's see, what comes about that. Testimonies are the key. Every Biz in a Box client that we've done, we have it to where they join us on live, they join us on Zoom, they join us somewhere, and we do a live interview where they get to talk about their business. And I ask them, and they know, hey, we're going to be doing a testimony on the Biz in a Box, your experience with us before, after, during, anything that you want to share with the people. And that is chopped up, utilized multiple different times throughout my social media, especially with the Magic Jewel app that we've shared with you guys that you should be implementing, especially if you're part of our Pivot membership. And then when we talk about, mobile commerce, a lot of you have to understand that if you do have an old traditional website, it's not aesthetic towards, a cell phone. And 92%, let me make sure. Yeah, 72% are utilizing, hold on. I got it wrong. Read this right. Yes, 72% of people are using their cell phone for their actual, looking up websites and things of that sort, mobile commerce.
Yeah, so almost 73% of the business is done mobile based.
Yes.
So that means that if you have a traditional website that you would access on your website or on a laptop or something, you know how it gets all wonky when you look at it on a phone? That is the difference between, that's why. And a lot of times people will lose business because they're not mobile formatted.
Yeah. Or it's not easy to navigate. People, especially on a website, a static website, it has the three little lines. We call them the hamburger, that most people won't go up or can see it on the mobile. And all they're seeing is just a whole bunch of writing and a whole bunch of gibberish. Once again, people aren't reading. You aren't reading right now, right? And so this is where it's very critical for you all to really be able to implement these strategies and tools into your business. As you see, I'm sharing, ChatGPT from my screen. And so one of the things that I did want to talk about was, utilizing this ChatGPT. And I'm going to go and share with you guys, some of the actual campaigns that Tara and I have done for our social media. To give you guys some ideas, or if anybody wants to come up and I'll do an actual, I'll do a 7-day, guide with you. Come on up. I'll look at your platform or what you got, and I'll be able to literally, give you, and I'll copy and paste it and send it to you as well. If anybody want to come up and get a week campaign made for them, let's do it. Let's make it now. But other than that, I'll wait to see if somebody gonna get the courage and raise their hand and come on up here. Let's get their social media knocked out because, a lot of the times that's what happens is we don't know what. right?
We don't take action.
That part.
And so
let me find this.
Yeah. And so, I think the biggest thing about, taking action is, just the fact of, asking. If you don't know, ask. If you don't know, go out and, join our $7. Look, I want to tell you, there is a lot of information in our $7 platform, membership platform. We have over 100 videos, and a lot of them are on social media. And it breaks down all of this information into, how to's, how do I push the button? What do I push the button? What's the strategy behind it? And I think that's the biggest thing that people, we lack is, I was listening to a conversation the other day that talked about baby boomers and their ability to, push the button. And as we get older, we stop pushing the button because, Crystal was just in here sharing, she doesn't open up emails and push, the buttons to links because of her significant other who's in the tech world, who understands, the risks along with that. And so a lot of people don't move forward because of that I would say it's not even a fear, but it's a fact. It does happen from time to time. And the what if, that's it. They don't push the button because of the what if. And a lot of times we got to get out of our own way and push the button and get past that what if, because what if it does do well? What if, that does save someone's life? Or what if that does, earn somebody their $20 they need in their business, and that $20 puts food on the table for that night? We don't know the impact that we have. And a lot of times because we don't see the results of the impact we want, then we lose it. So, I think at the end of the day, it is getting out of our comfort zone. And I speak for myself.
Yeah. And so I'm utilizing Gemini in our Hello Plaza right now, guys. And I'm sharing the screen that's in our Hello Plaza. And I've created a prompt for Gemini. And I'll read it out to you guys. Create a social media campaign with 3 posts a day for a week. Act as a social media expert and the marketing manager for the Hello LLC. Create this campaign about the Hello LLC, helping businesses with their systems using AI and upgrading their current foundation, number 1. Then have the ability to pivot from 2D to 3D VR metaverse, but they must have a solid foundation to provide. And I'm going to take that last part out.
And that's the beauty of it is being able to massage the request based on, your understanding or your needs. Yeah. And guess what, guys? If you left it in there, oh, well, it ain't going to hurt nothing.
No, it wasn't going to hurt anything. And so right now, at those of you that are in our metaverse world, you're seeing Gemini go to work. And so right here, it has given me, the campaign focus. It's given me the target audience because I put that in there, right? And now it's giving me a breakdown of the campaign selection. So for day 1, it says, future-proof your business for post 1. Number 2 is AI. Think AI is just for sci-fi movies? Wrong. So now it's having me, put a picture up of a sci-fi movie. The third post is the metaverse myth. So it's having me, talk about a myth that most people have for metaverse. This is all great information that I'm posting and showcasing about the metaverse and about our business, questioning these questions, questioning these things. Day 2. And in all reality, guys, I asked it for 3 posts a day. That's really 3 weeks. Because if I posted 1 time a day, I'm out the gate. And so now I have it to where, day 2, the metaverse myth, entering the metaverse, expensive and complicated. So it's uncovering that. The second post, imagine AI-powered virtual assistant within your metaverse store, helping customers, right? The third post was future-proof your business. Worried about the complexity of system upgrades. The Hello LLC has a team of experts to simplify the process. Boom. Right? We can go and then I can literally ask it, continue the rest of the week. Because sometimes it stops at like day 3 or day 4, and you got to just ask it to come on with the rest. And so boom, I'll hit that. And now it has the rest of the week that is going to pop up as well. And so this right here, guys, was me literally copy, pasting, dragging, dropping from ChatGPT, from Gemini, and you all being able to see, how this can work out for you. How easy, and you don't have to do the thinking anymore. That's what I want people to understand. They run from AI, and yet they miss the point that you don't need to do all the thinking as much. And nothing's wrong with that. You're able to go to this tool and you're able to ask it questions that it will not just give you your mama's answer, your daddy's answer, your cousin's answer, your broke brother-in-law's answer, but it will take facts over feelings, which matters when you want the appropriate information, and lay it out to you in a way that's going to help you out. And you don't have to be, the overall, Bill Huxley, horrible example. Horrible example. Take that back. I was thinking of the nerd from Family Matters. Urkel. Urkel. You don't have to be Urkel of your generation.
Did I do that?
Yeah. And that was a horrible example.
I was like, wow.
And so this is where we want you guys to really, understand the gravity of AI, and this just being the beginning of using AI to where even more so in an app we use that we've talked about multiple times, not only does it give you the actual weekly campaign, it creates the actual content for you, and it schedules out for you as well from your Instagram story, your Facebook group, your LinkedIn, your Pinterest, your Google SEO, your YouTube, your TikTok, all of those under one umbrella that now we, get to sit down. As last week, I was able to, I think, post out 45 posts last week, and I did it all on Sunday. Okay. And I'm not sitting here going back and forth on my social media through all of these platforms. And even more so, those of us that are in business, we have to stop running our business day to day. We have to stop saying, oh, what am I going to post today? I don't know, George. Let's post this. And then you post the same thing 3 days later, and you should have had a whole entire week campaign out, right? Of it being strategically how it was done. And this is where we remind you all, do you have a business or do you have a hustle? Because there's two different things when you talk about those. And so this is really where we want you guys to be able to take your business to the next level, especially as you hear about these new technologies and things that are coming up. And so with that being said, if nobody has anything they want to come up and add, Tara Love, do you have anything in closing?
No, I just think thank you so much for today, for the information you shared. It's another reminder that we just have to push the button and utilize the tools in our tool bag that are, I liken it to this. How many of you grew up with, so I grew up, my dad had a whole ton of tools in the shop, right? In the garage. And I'd go in there because I was just a little engineer myself. I was always building and creating something. And Dad had a hand drill. I don't know if anybody knows what a hand drill is. It just looked like it's a drill bit and it has a crank on it. And it's a hand drill. Or we had a screwdriver or an electric drill. And I think a lot of times we go back into our tool bag and we see the screwdriver or the hand drill and we pick them up. The hand drill is a little more automated than the screwdriver. But if we would just kind of move all that over to the side, we would see that we have an electric, drill or, a battery operated, whatever. But you push a button and it goes zzz, and that was a horrible drill sound. But anyways, point being is our tools are upgrading and we have access to those without having to go out and purchase that tool. That's like just going by and being like, oh, I opened up my tool bag and I got new tools. And so we have to understand these are at our fingertips and you can use it or lose it. And that's the biggest thing that happens in life. period. I was just talking to my mom today, and she was like, oh yeah, I just got my walk done. My mom walks 45 minutes a day. And I was like, well, that's good, Mom. She says, yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. And at my age, at 73 years old, I'm losing shit left and right. So I need to use it. And so that's the point, guys. Get out there and use it. So with that said, that's my final thoughts on it, love.
No, that was awesome. You know, we go back for the old screwdriver, other than grabbing the extension cord, plugging it up, going to the wall and plugging it up, knowing that this is going to be a long project. But because we're so stubborn and hard-headed of using something new, we continue to use that old screwdriver or the old flathead or the old wrench, right? Or even when we used to do the trucks, the four-wheeler or the big rigs, he would have the pipe, I would have the four-wheelers. And the crazy thing is when we got the air machine to zip, take off the big 18-wheelers. The lug nuts, right?
You were out there still with the tire.
Dad still wanted to use that. Other than going and
do you know how many times I jumped on that darn thing and it would come off and smack me in the shin and I'd be like, screw this. Why am I doing this?
Imagine holding my dad up.
Oh no.
And it wouldn't come off.
Yeah, it'd come off and that thing would pop off and smack you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Other than my dad, right? And love you, Dad. But other than my dad spending the $400 to $500 of buying the air tank, right? That had the drill that could literally cut our stuff down to 1/4 of the time to get it done, he wouldn't do it. That's even look. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it.
Have y'all ever heard that old phrase that the apple never falls far from the tree? Well, we are all apples, and hello, apple trees. So it's okay.
That is it exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we want you guys all to come and join us tomorrow for our Wisdom Wednesday room, where it is going to be emotional mastery for business leaders. Elevate your business, right? Elevate your personalization for leadership. And more importantly, you guys come and join us on Thursday for Leah Garcia. She's an amazing individual. A lot of you guys know her. She's going to be joining us for Tech Transforming Finance, the Future. So that's going to be at 6:30 on all of our social media platforms and in Metaverse, that we want you guys to press 4 simple buttons and come see, what the Metaverse is about. So with that being said, as always, love,
kindness,
integrity,
but most importantly,
commitment.
And
until next time, toodles. Oh, I see Miss Taborn wants to come up. Miss Taborn, you can raise your hand and come on back up here, ma'am. All right.
I love it.
So she can hit the button. I invited you. It's not letting me. Oh, okay.
There we go.
See if that works.
Technical difficulties, guys. Nope, it's not letting her.